two previous Declo teams as Idaho State Constellation winners, this year would see Coach Lloyd Gary and his Declo Hornets and a record of 26-0 year and a first ever Idaho State A3 boys basketball championship. Gary knew he had the makings of a state championship team, a dream team, and instilled this goal in each and every boy. Coach Gary believed that one big key to success is to have consistency in the boys basketball program from grade 7 through 12. His two selected high-qualified assistants in the program included Coach Denny Smyer, junior varsity and 8th grade coach, and Coach Val Christensen, freshman and 7th grade coach. Although giving up 3 sophomore players practice time so they could practice with the varsity, Coach Smyer would see his team take the district championship and finish with a 15-6 record for the season. Coach Christensen and his outstanding freshman team had a remarkable 16-2 season, losing only their first game of the season and their second loss to a non-conference A2 team. The varsity Hornets' first game of the year was against Filer, a result of a 69-45 win that set the pace for the year. Defeat was not in the team's vocabulary as they beat every opponent, producing a 26-0 record for Declo, as well as the best record for all schools in the state of Idaho for the 1997-98 season. The Canyon Conference had 3 teams rated all year in the Idaho Top 10 on the poll list, with Declo ranked number 1 and Wendell and Kimberly jockeying back and forth in the ratings. The last Declo-Wendell Conference game played on the Declo home court would be the game to remember, with the game going into double overtime and the ecstatic Declo players and fans seeing an 89-84 victory. By the time district tournament rolled around, these same 3 teams would be holding the following positions: Declo number 1, Wendell number 2, and Kimberly number 4. A win against Filer and 2 against Kimberly secured the Canyon Conference District Tournament Championship and a berth to play in the state tournament. In early team tryouts, 50 prospective players showed up, and from this group, 3 sophomores, 4 juniors, and 5 seniors would become the varsity boys basketball team. The sophomores would play at the junior varsity games, practice with the varsity, and when needed, be backup players. Dedication and commitment showed early on. Due to an overcrowded gym schedule, team members traveled from as far away as 40 miles round trip to attend practices at 6 a.m. after school and at late night. The 3 sophomore players were Jeff Stoker, Jason Webb, and Jesse Wickel. Although actual playing time was limited, they were essential components of the team in the developing of the competitive spirit. A strong bench is a must for success of any ball team. Junior guard Stan Gillette came into the ball game many times and added his ability to score and provide assists to other players. Stan set the pace for the loss of teeth as he sat out a few games from losing 2 of his during a fun game. Due to a motorcycle accident and a severe head injury that would keep junior Shea Heward out of the first few practices. If that wasn't enough, a Valley player elbowed Shea and knocked out his 2 front teeth and sent him out of the last conference game, which was the only game to be played in the 1997-98 season in the new gym. This injury was what would prevent Shea from playing in the remainder of the year. It was ironic that mouth guards were required by the conference for this the first year. Although injuries kept Shea's playing time somewhat limited, he contributed to the team's success as a backup center for his brother Eric Ewart. Shea's talents were displayed at Valley when he scored 12 points and made 5 rebounds, as he assisted his teammates with the whopping 78-34 victory. Junior forward Lance Zollinger added 2 unique qualities to the team. Lance was always the pep-me-up guy that every team needs. The other qualities of Lance's abilities was to come off the bench at any time and add points and keep the other opponents from scoring. Lance must have enjoyed scoring against Glens Ferry because in the 2 games against them, he added 14 and 10 to make a total of 24 points. His all-time game high came in the first game of the state tournament, where he came up with a big 15 points and 9 rebounds to help give Declo a huge win over Butte and keep them in the running for the championship. Junior guard Seth Christensen saw lots of playing time throughout the year as he rotated at the guard position and took over as starting point guard for 5 games to keep Declo's unbeaten record going. In January of 1998, Seth was named Player of the Week by the South Idaho Press due to scoring 18 points in 2 games that week and having 10 steals and 8 assists against Buell. He earned honorable mention on the all-conference boys basketball team. Always a crowd pleaser, after the Valley game, in which Seth had 10 steals, a fan jokingly stated that if he kept stealing the ball, they might put him in jail. 2 of his outstanding games were against Gooding, where he scored 17 points, and against Aberdeen, where he racked up 22 points. Surgery on his left arm prior to the season didn't stop his ability to perform. Steals, assists, and points earned by forcing the opponent to commit errors was valueless. Seth led the team with 96 steals and 124 forced errors. His 111 assists tied him up with his brother Mike. Starting forward, Casey Ramsey began the season with a fantastic display of talent, scoring 19 points against Aberdeen and duplicating the record in the 2 other season games. Although his 6'1" height was not tall in comparison to the other players in the conference, Casey's strong rebounding efforts to reach up and pull down the ball at the right time was a strength to the Hornets that they relied on. His efforts resulted in 162 rebounds and an average of about 6.2 per game. In a press article praising Casey for his defensive pressure throughout one Kimberly game, Casey stated, "We just take it one game at a time, stay focused, and play as a team." Casey ranked among the top 10 Mini-Cassia basketball leaders all year and finished with an 11-point average. Averaging 9.6 points and 115 rebounds for the year, and an all-season game high of 22 points chalked up against Glens Ferry, starting forward Brady Mallory came through with 11 big rebounds against Raft River. After a Kimberly game, Kimberly coach Roger Keller said, "We knew Brady was a good shooter from around the elbow. He's a tough player." Selected as most valuable player of the week by KMT, Brady probably felt more comfortable on the basketball court than in front of the cameras. Brady was also selected to be on the A3 Canyon Conference All-Star basketball team.
Friday's game of the week by knocking off number 5 Wendell in Wendell. Brady Mallory seemed to be everywhere for the Hornets. His hustle earned him Most Valuable Player honors. Here's Rick Williamson for the profile.
Brady Mallory always tries to have a little fun when he's out shooting hoops for the Declo Hornets, but it's also important to him to get out and enjoy a little bit of nature.
I like to rock climb, do some mountain biking, paintballing, just hang out with my friends.
Mallory may be a man of few words, but it's his actions and character that speak volumes.
I think he's a silent leader, you know, in the classroom, and he's not big and boisterous. He'd rather show by example, and I think that's kind of important for an individual to be able to do that, and he does that in the classroom and on the court.
And it's that time on the floor that means the most to Brady, because the most important thing to him is basketball.
Most of my free time, I just go around and shoot outside or go to the church and shoot or something. I don't consider myself that special of a person. I just try to play basketball, you know.
And it's exactly that does make Brady Mallory special.
Congratulations to this week's MVP, Brady Mallory.
KMB.
Although his quiet mannerisms on the court may have fooled some, starting center Eric Heward's opponents soon came to respect his ability to rebound and put back up shots as he did game after game. He led all the players with a total of 177 rebounds. Two great games for the season for Eric were against Wendell and Kimberly. Eric scored 36 points and 13 rebounds in the two games. Eric was the man to watch at the first district tournament game against Filer, as he lit up the court with his spectacular scoring of 24 points, and then grabbed 13 rebounds just to let Filer know who was in control. Eric was named the most valuable player of the week by KMVT for his performance, but gave credit for the win to the great team he was on. Eric was named to the A3 Canyon Conference All-Star Basketball Team, and also to the East All-Star Team.
Stayed unbeaten and top ranked in A3. Leading the way was 6'5" senior Eric Heward. Rick Williamson profiles this week's most valuable player.
At 6'4", Declo's Eric Heward may have a bit of a height advantage, but for him, having his brother Shay on the team is a huge help.
It's nice having him there because a lot of times after the game and stuff we discuss about what we did and we try to help each other out. When we're on the bus with the other boys, we just talk about what the game was about and stuff. And when we get at home and stuff, we talk about what we did and how we played.
His brother and his talent are just cornerstones for Eric's success. It's been a lot of hard work in everything he does that's taken him to such a high level.
I think that Eric is going to, you know, he's going to be a success story even after he gets out of high school because of his work ethics.
For Eric, that success story would be a chance to go to college to become a physical therapist.
A lot of the businesses, if you go into physical therapy, they will pay for your education to be hired so that you can become a doctor.
And for Heward, that is the ultimate goal.
Congratulations to this week's most valuable player, Eric Heward.
Starting off guard and co-captain for the Hornets was Brad Allen. Allen's scoring talent was consistent all year, and his average was 12.2 points per game. At home against Wendell, a game that went into a double overtime, Brad scorched the Trojans by leading the scoring for both teams with 28 points. Brad's scoring power put him in the Mini-Cassia top 10 basketball leaders. Averaging 20 points per game in the two Hornet wins and scoring 25 points in Declo's win over Valley earned Brad Player of the Week by the SIP, and KMVT named him the most valuable player of the week. The Declo defense always created havoc with the opposing team, and Brad played his role in keeping the other team's scores down. With approximately 1.9 seconds left on the clock, and the Hornets trailing to the Kimberly Bulldogs in the championship game at the Idaho State Tournament, Brad hit a three-point shot off a pass from Eric Heward to send the game into overtime, and the 4 minutes to go head-to-head with Kimberly. Brad was named to the A3 All-Conference All-Star Team and to the East All-Star Team.
We'll have to get on that. Hey, what a thriller in Friday's game of the week. Declo beat Wendell in double overtime with both point guards on the bench having fouled out. Brad Allen picked up the slack in directing the offense, and he scored 28 points. He earns MVP honors. Rick Williamson profiles the 6'1" senior.
When Brad Allen is on the floor, he knows exactly what he wants to do. So it's not surprising that he has the same kind of focus on his future, hoping to make a career on the information superhighway.
Everything's like based on computers, you know. I'm just kind of fascinated with them. I like operating them and stuff. It's just kind of, you know, it's amazing how they work and all their components and everything. And
to get where he wants to go, Brad knows it will be tough, but no tougher than it is to be a student athlete with a 4.0 GPA.
it's demanding. I mean, you've got homework and essays and stuff like that to do, and then also you've got practice for a couple hours every night, and that drains you, and you got to keep up your academics too. So it's a challenge, but it's worth it if you succeed.
And Brad will have no problem with that if he just sticks to his definition of success.
Setting a goal for yourself and then achieving it. I mean, doing the best you know you can do is what I consider success. If you know you couldn't have done any better.
With determination like that, success is one thing Brad will come to know very well.
Congratulations to Brad Allen, this week's Most Valuable Player.
KMV.
A senior and third-year varsity starter, point guard Mike Christensen, was co-captain of the Hornets. Summer surgery on his elbow and left knee presented some concerns, but Mike was ready to go when the season began. One of the most powerful point guards in the conference, he ran the plays on the floor. In an interview, Coach Gary said, "He's done such an outstanding job at running the team and just being a good individual. He's been like a coach on the floor." During the game against Gooding, he suffered a severe ankle sprain which took him out of play for 5 games. But therapy and his determination and desire to play got him back into action by the time the Canyon Conference District Tournament began. Noted for his three-point shots, which would result in local and national recognition for Mike and the team at the state tournament, he sank 7 three-pointers in the second game of the district tournament against Kimberly. He had an all-time game high at 33 points. 16.5 points per game ranked Mike at third in the Mini-Casia scoring leaders for the season. Averaging 19 points per game to help the Hornets win 3 games, including the Big Canyon Conference wins over the 4th-ranked Kimberly and Glens Ferry, and a win over the A2 Buell, Mike was voted Player of the Week by the SIP and Most Valuable Player of the Game by KMUT. Other honors Mike received were the Boys Basketball Player of the Year by the South Idaho Press, and he was also named to the A3 Canyon Conference All-Star Team and the East All-Star Team.
Well, the term March Madness originally referred to high school basketball. The state of Illinois claims to have used it first, though it certainly describes what happened in Idaho last weekend. Brad Allen's 3-shot Declo into overtime against Kimberly in the A3 state championship game. Declo trailed by 2 until Mike Christensen hit from 65 feet away, giving Declo a state title in a perfect 26-0 season. Pretty good. Next on the
game of the millennium, the state A3 championship contest where Declo nipped Kimberly with not one, but a pair of miracle shots. Here it is one more time. We're tied at 60. Kimberly ball. The Dogs run the clock down. Scott Plouffe posts up, gets the bucket and the free throw. 63-60, 5 seconds to go in regulation. Declo gets it across half court, calls time. Here we go, 2.9 left. Brad Allen, a running bank shot for 3 to tie it. And we go to overtime, and just listen to that crowd. Tied at 69 in the overtime now, and Kimberly again runs the clock down. They find Rich Arosa. He hits a turnaround jumper. Looks like Kimberly's going to win, but Mike Christensen has other ideas.
It felt good. It felt good. I thought it was close. So
I said the same thing to Brad. I'll ask you the same question. I didn't see your hand go up calling the bank. Did you call the bank?
No. I just knew it was in line.
It put me in shock after I saw. I mean, I was about ready to start celebrating being state champions. I mean, that's something we've all dreamed about. And when I saw that go in, it just, I don't know. it like took a part of me or something. It felt weird. I was in shock.
We'll show it one more time. Just check the emotions of both teams after the shots goes in, because it's just an incredible ending. An incredible ending to an incredible ball game. Well, if there's anybody out there 17 years or younger that can hit that shot, get to Jerome High School Wednesday and Thursday night.
In the final championship game at the Idaho State boys basketball tournament, off an inbound pass from Casey, Mike's 75-foot three-point shot with 2.9 seconds left on the clock in the overtime game clinched the first-place win for the Declo Hornets. A first ever for the Hornets and Coach Lloyd Gary. Two days before in Lifetime Sports, a class at school, I shot the ball from back there, and it hit the rim. Christensen said, I tried it again, and it hit the rim again. I said, that's how we'll win state. I didn't even remember that until after the game when people reminded me. It was just like in the movie, Mike says. Everything seemed to be totally quiet. The ball just hung there in slow motion. The Declo Hornets received national recognition on Good Morning America and other radio and television stations throughout the nation and in Idaho. Rick Riley wrote a one-page feature article on Mike and the game in the March 23, 1998 edition of Sports Illustrated. He writes, quote, no wonder almost nobody noticed Mike Christensen, a hat-rack thin senior for Declo High, as he took the inbound pass, dribbled just past the free throw line, and heaved the 75-foot rosary off his chest, trying to save a 25-0 season, his high school dreams, and the hopes of his town of 300. Without our high school sports, says Jay Fox, who runs Declo's only grocery store gas station deli, we don't have much. In another section of the article, Riley describes the aftermath of the game. Quote, back home, Mike and his teammates got to ride through town on the fire truck, and girls Mike hardly knew gave him hugs. The school threw a big assembly to celebrate the first boys basketball title and asked Mike to try the shot again. Sure enough, he made it on a second try.
An outstanding administration, a brand new school. I mean, it's just wonderful here. I'd like this time to have the boys come on down. It's on the varsity team. I think it was the Kimberly athletic director that said that Mike Christensen couldn't make that shot in 10 shots, or he'd give him $500. It would see if he can do that. Can we get a basketball real quick somewhere? Yeah. I think he can, and maybe we'll just let that athletic director pay that $500, and we'll just put it in our athletic fund. But first of all, I look at this. This is the varsity ball club, but this isn't what really makes us that great. It's everybody that was involved in our program, all the way down to the fans that attended, and you people. Because I don't think that there was another school in the state tournament that had more people in the stands than Declo did. But anyway, these are the guys that are on the varsity squad that's made this team what it is. And we'll just start, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves because I'm not very good at this. So we'll just pass it down. And I want them to tell they always have. They did something special for the team. I want them to say what special thing they did for the team.
Well, I'm Stan Gillette, and I guess I helped him out in practice. I'm Jason, and I did about the same.
I'm Shane.
You were there.
Yeah, professional all the time cheerleader.
I'm Seth, and I made a basket. I'm Jesse, and I taught Mike how to shoot that shot. I'm Lance, and I gave starters a rest while I went. I'm Casey, and I took the ball out of the end. I'm Brady, and I kept Casey out of the fights in every game. I'm Brad. I don't know what happened. I just prayed a lot. I'm Mike, and I just tried to keep Coach in line.
I'm Eric, and I'm just hoping to bring that shot went in. I don't know what. You can see how hard it is to try to do these things. So anyway, this is the team that brought home the first one of these that I've ever been this close to. Right here. And in our new gym, we're not only going to have a state wrestling championship banner, but we're going to have this one to hang up also. And at this time, I'd like to present to Declo High School. Could I have Mr. Matthews out here, please? No, you're not. But we'd like to present at this time the state basketball A3 championship trophy to Declo High School, to Mr. Matthews. He's still trying to warm up. And the banner. Well, he takes that shot. No, wait a minute, Mr. Matthews. I believe that started at the free throw line. So if you back up a few steps. There we go. He had a running chance at it. Okay. All right, now let's see. We had Casey took the ball out. Casey took the ball out of bounds. Now, how many shots did he get? One. That's $500. You gotta get serious.
Mike made the winning shot, but that game and the 26-0 season was won by winning, hard-working, never-give-up coach and his team. This team that was loved and supported by schoolmates, faculty, parents, grandparents, friends, relatives, and others that loved to watch Declo basketball. Yes, it was won by the boys and their coaches, but included fantastic performances by the pep band, Stingerettes, and cheerleaders. Like a scene out of Hoosiers, fans followed the team wherever they played. Over 1,200 people attended the last home game held in the new gym, and it was estimated that over 3,000 people were in attendance to the last game of the state tournament. This was reported as the largest crowd to watch any of the state tournament games. Lloyd Gary, a devoted basketball coach and excellent role model for young men, spent countless hours working on strategies for both defensive and offensive plays, viewing and reviewing videotapes of the ball games, logging in statistics on each individual player, and correcting and improving skills of his athletes. The long bus rides, endless practices, being away from his family much of the time, and even summer ball never dimmed his enthusiasm and love of basketball and coaching. He certainly is to be commended and given credit for the accomplishments of his team. At the end of the basketball season, KMVT sportscaster Jonathan Drew stated, "Shakespeare could not have created more drama and pure excitement than the Declo Hornets have provided in the 1997-98 hoop season." Continuing in this vein, the Bard might have said of this scintillating season of basketball, "We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that shares this victory will be my brother. And gentlemen in Declo now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhood's chief, while any speaks that fought with this team on state championship day." What a day, what a season, what a year. Please sit back now and enjoy the individual player stats, the championship game, and awards, the DHS assembly, and look for yourself in the footage following the championship game.
Live from the Idaho Center, where Bishop Kelly has just taken the Real Dairy Shootout Championship in the A2 classification. But when you walk around the Idaho Center concourse today, everybody's talking about the A3 Real Dairy Shootout Championship that took place earlier today between Declo and Kimberly. Let's look at how these two teams got there. Early on in the brackets, Declo took a 24-0 record after defeating Butte County 80-49. They then defeated Grangeville in the semifinals 50-42. Defense was the victory and the key to victory for Declo. They took a 25-0 record into the finals. Kimberly took Scott Plews 29 points and defeated Lapway by 6. And then in the semis defeated Firth quite handily 73-56. let's take a look at the highlights from the A3 Real Dairy Shootout Championship with Larry Pulowski earlier today.
A3 Real Dairy Shootout started off fairly mundane, but this game's going to really pick up towards the end. Matt Berry there gets the first point of the ball game, makes it 2-0 for Kimberly. Scott Poole, a guy you're going to see a lot of today with the three-pointer. Kimberly jumps out to a 5-0 lead. Brad Allen, the first Declo bucket of the ball game from 18 feet. Philip Knight, underneath, battling hard for the rebound, makes it 7-2 Kimberly. And he'll get a nice entry pass here with an easy turnaround 5-foot jumper to make it 9-2 Kimberly. Eric Heward, the big man inside for Declo, with the rebound and the putback, 6'5". Eric Heward had a nice ball game. Brad Allen, number 13, with the steal on the inbounds play right after that, scores to make it 9-6. Now Brian Harshman, with a nice little driving, running layup, makes it 11-6 for Kimberly. Brad Mallory for Declo, nice little runner in the lane, 10-foot jump shot. Mallory again, this time from corner of the key area, about a 17-footer for 2 points, 13-10 Kimberly. Down the lane comes Mike Christensen. Now remember that name and remember that number. You're going to see a lot of this guy throughout the rest of this ball game. Long range, Rich Arosa from downtown, almost NBA land, 17-12 Kimberly. Christensen again, he's going to try his own almost from the three-point NBA line, but way beyond the high school line, 17-15 Kimberly. Arosa again nails another three-pointer, the three-point shootout going on here at the Real Dairy Shootout. This time they even get the big guys into it. Harshman, guy not known for his three-point range, drops one there, 23-16 Kimberly at the end of the quarter. Declo gets a nice block, and there's a lot of defense in the start of this second quarter. Christensen comes up with the ball. Casey Ramsey, a layup after a great inlet pass. Now we're going to see Harshman again. Gets fouled underneath, goes to the line. Doesn't make either of his free throws, though. 25-18 Kimberly at this point. Now Brian Mallory with a little face-up jumper from the almost three-point land, but that was only a two-pointer, 25-22 the score. Now a steal and a layup again. Mallory goes in streaks, gets the steal, takes it all the way down for the layup, brings it to a one-point ball game. Here you see the big guy Heward inside, just kind of taking his time, working his way to the bucket, and he gets the layup. Phil Knight over the top of the 6'7" Heward, ends the scoring drought for Kimberly. There's Seth Christensen, the younger brother of Mike Christensen, drills a three-pointer. Philip Knight, again for Kimberly underneath, doing a lot of work underneath the boards, 29 all at this point. Phil Knight again, little 10-footer, drops it in over Heward, and he's working pretty hard. That ends the first half with Kimberly up by just one at 31-30. Scott Pugh gets the first basket of the second half. This guy shoots from anywhere, anytime, off balance, sideways, he doesn't care. Eric Heward again, inside, picking up the garbage rebound and taking it back for two. That puts Kimberly up 33-32. Again, there you see, nice touch by Scott Poole, turnaround jumper in the key. Brad Allen gets into the action now with a little driving layup. 35 all at this point. Declo feeling fairly confident. Brady Mallory again in the lane for a layup. Brad Allen will come back now. An off-balance jump shot. That makes it 39-35 Declo, starting to take a little bit of a command here in the second half. Rich Arosa again with another three-pointer, his third of the ball game. Christensen comes back down. He'll answer with an off-balance two-pointer to make it 41-38 Declo. Scott Blue, here's the man of the hour again for Kimberly. That little hitch in his shot, but it goes in. That ties it at 41 all. Blue again, he'll come back down the next time. He hasn't had enough yet. He'll drill another one. That makes it 44-41 Kimberly. Now Kimberly taking a little bit of momentum back in their side of the board. Heward, nothing you can do. That's a pretty easy basket for the big guy underneath. Arosa, fourth three-pointer of the night. Long range from the corner. 47-43 Kimberly. Now Brad Allen stops and pops at the free throw line. Hits that to bring Declo to within two. And here's Arosa again. Now that is way out there, folks. Three-point land again from the CBA line. Of course, the Idaho Stampede play in this arena. Heward with more garbage underneath. It's sometimes better to be lucky than good, and Heward down there picking up all the loose balls. Here comes Nick Powers at the buzzer. At the end of the third quarter, hits a three-pointer from deep in the corner, and Kimberly looks like they're in pretty good shape with a 6-point lead. Now Casey Ramsey gets into the action, makes it 53-49 Kimberly. Brad Allen, another jumper from about 15 feet for 2 points. And Phil Knight will come down and get what amounts to his last bucket of the night, a 12-foot in the lane to put Kimberly up by 4. Christensen, long-range three-pointer goes down for him. And Brian Harshman's going to drive the lane, uncontested, and gets it to roll in. And here comes Christensen again. Mike Christensen, this kid had a great day, and you're going to see some heroics a little later on, but there's a three-pointer to tie it at 57. And he'll get a steal right here, picks the pocket of Arosa, takes it in for the layup to make it 59-57 Declo. Christensen again going to take it to the hole and get fouled. He'll make 1 of 2, make it 60-57 Declo. Now Scott Blue goes to work underneath, fighting hard, and he gets fouled, goes to the line, and he'll pick up 1 of 2 free throws also to bring Kimberly to back within 2 points. Rich Arosa now taking the ball underneath. He's been shooting the threes all day. He's going to get under, pick up a foul. Kimberly burning off some time on the clock. He gets it down to Plu with 5 seconds on the clock. Kimberly's up by 2. Adds the free throw, 3-point game. This thing you think is over, but no. Brad Allen, a bank shot, 3-pointer from the corner with no time left on the clock. This game is going to overtime. The Declo fans can't believe it. The Declo team, they're ready to roll. Now this overtime period starts off, and it's a foul fest. You're going to see a lot of free throws in the next couple of minutes here because that's about all that happened. Some tough defense, some gritty play, and right there Phil Knight, who's had a great game, fouls out and has to sit down as he watches Casey Ramsey hit a couple of free throws. Brian Harshman fouled underneath. He'll go to the line and make 1 of 2. Scott Blue back into the action. He's working hard on the sidelines. He gets fouled, goes to the line. He makes 1 of 2. Gets it to rattle in. Again, Blue underneath, working hard, gets fouled. Now we're in the bonus situation. He goes back to the free throw line and drills 2 of 2. This puts Kimberly in a tie, or actually up 2 points, 69-67. Slash into the basket is Brad Allen to tie the ball game at 69. And again, Kimberly goes in to the taking a little bit of air out of the ball philosophy, and it's worked for him. It worked for him to get the game and get the lead in the first regulation period. And there you see what they think is the game winner. Rich Arosa hits the 2-pointer. Now watch the top of your screen. The ball goes in. The time had not expired. Declo drops the 3-pointer from 75 feet at the end of the game. Unbelievable. The Kimberly Bulldogs can't believe it. The Declo Hornets are just ecstatic. And the trophy presentation, your champion.
The Hornets of Declo. Number 11, Seth Christensen. Number 25, Jeff Stoker. Number 31, Jason Webb. Number 33, Jesse Wickle. Number 40, Lance Solinger. Number 43, Shane Heward. And number 45, Stan Gillette. And now here are this afternoon's starting lineups. At forward for the Bulldogs, the 6'1 senior, number 53, Matt Perry. At forward for the Hornets, the 6' senior, number 21, Brady Mallory. At forward for the Bulldogs, the 6'3 junior, number 43, Philip Knight. At forward for the Hornets, the 6'1 senior, number 23, Casey Ramsey. At center for Kimberly, the 6'3 senior, number 44, Ryan Hirschman. At center for Declo, the 6'5 senior, number 41, Eric Heward. One of the guards for Kimberly, the 6'2 junior, number 31, Rich Arosa. One of the guards for Declo, the 6'1 senior, number 13, Brad Allen. Declo. Third personal, team foul 1 on the Bulldogs. Number 53, second personal team foul, 2 on the Bulldogs. Nick Howard's in the lineup. for Declo. right, takes the line for the Bulldogs. As he ranks in the line, 3-2.
coaches. This time, Gage Meyer. I also want to thank Christensen. They will start with the sophomores. Jesse Whipple. Jason Webb. Jeff Stover. Greg Juniors. Seth Christensen. What's up? Jay Gilbert. Now our super seniors. Very good. Brady Mallard. Casey Ramsey. Last second one here, Mike Christensen. Last second one here, number 2, Brad Allen. Also, I thank the greatest fans Idaho's ever seen.
Congratulations to the state boys basketball champions, the Hornets of Declo High. And by a great effort by the Bulldogs of Kimberly. If you'd like to meet the players, we have this police report behind the black curtain. That's where you can meet with the players of both teams. Police report behind the black curtains.
Seconds after the game, what do you think?
Yeah, like it was our turn to win.
Look right into here.
Here.
No, it's going.
Jump Hornets!
Thank you.
Referee sandwich of Brady. I'm in the oh,
He had all the confidence.
Say that again.
What's going on, man?
Said I watched him shoot it, and after he shot it, it looked like he thought it had a chance to go in, and it did.
Did that swish?
Yeah. No, bank.
The bank, the last one?
Yeah.
Two?
Straight back, and boom.
Oh, man.
Move out of here. What do you guys think?
I don't know what to think. It's still unbelievable.
Good job.
Hi.
Get your face in the camera.
Down to 0. What you got to say? What you got to say?
What? Hey, Dad. Good job. Boy, congratulations. That was wonderful. She thought you won too,
That's a pretty good shot, huh?
Karen. I worked harder than those boys. That was awesome. Well, boy, you know they have been